Hi, it's DelusionDispeller. I'm going to continue sharing about my life and what makes me me and the things that I've gone through and all that kind of stuff. Okay, part of what I remember about my childhood was that I didn't have much of one when I was an adolescent, especially. My brother and I were given long chore lists that always had to be perfect, but were never good enough for my dad due to his OCD and OCPD, which you might not know, but obsessive compulsive disorder is not the same disorder as obsessive compulsive personality disorder, which he had both of. We had to sneak out of the house if we wanted to play, and if he caught us sneaking by, he would immediately find work for us to do, or he would find work that we did that he would consider not good enough. He used the white glove technique that people joke about, but when you're the child whose free time depends on being perfect, it's nothing to laugh at. When somebody takes a white glove out on a windowsill and runs it along the windowsill that's sat in the sun all day, mind you, and says, oh, there's a speck of dust, you need to do it over again. And if so, if he found that speck of dust, your whole afternoon was spent cleaning that windowsill till he found not one speck of dust on it. You can imagine that's pretty impossible. That's called the classic double bind. So I lived with a lot of double binds like that. A lot of the chores we were asked to do were none other than just really lessons in perfectionism that could not be had, basically. I always felt like I never did anything good enough, which is why now when I do videos and I get a lot of criticism, you'll find me standing up for myself and saying, you know what, you're entitled to your opinion, but I'm perfectly fine with who I am. I'm comfortable in my own skin, and if you don't like my channel, go somewhere else. Because I won't let people bully me like that again. I won't let people put that on me without speaking up and saying something. My stepdad also would force me to watch horrible movies and tease me and make fun of me if I wouldn't sit there and watch them. He'd call me a baby or a scaredy cat or whatever, and he'd try to make light of it, like, oh, it's not that bad, you're just ridiculous, or whatever. But I had nightmares from some of the things that he watched, and it was very insulting and degrading to be made fun of, because I didn't want to sit there and watch people be chopped up or beheaded or God knows what other terrible things went on in the movies that he watched. At 14 or 16 years old, I can't really recall exactly what the age was, there was physical abuse. My stepdad would kick me, punch me, smack me. One time he smacked my brother so hard that the lens of his glasses flew out and scratched near his eye. I can remember my mom screaming at my stepdad that he could have knocked his eye out. I grew to really hate my stepdad over the years. I think I resented my mom for a while for not rescuing me every time. But eventually I did end up, my mom moved us in with my grandmother. We did that a couple times that I can remember, and both times she went back to him, and I never did understand that, and I think there was a lot of resentment in me towards her for that too, because I felt like I was finally free of the interrogation and the constant perfectionism, and I could be a kid and enjoy my life, and then right when I got comfortable, she'd move us back there. So I was angry for a long time. When I turned 16, one day I had said something that set my stepdad off. I tended to have a mouthy little problem, and I think sometimes I would push people further than I really needed to be pushing them, and then they would snap and I'd get hurt. So whatever it was I said at that time, my stepdad got really upset, chased me up to my bedroom as he usually did, and he began punching and smacking me. I decided I had had enough and I was going to fight back. So I kicked him really, really hard in the groin. I remember he grabbed his legs and he uttered some kind of expletives, and he grabbed me by the arm and just flung me full force into the wall, which broke my nose. There was blood gushing everywhere. My mom said that I was going to live with my grandmother, and I told her that we had left and lived with grandma before, but she always came back, and that if she made me come back, I would run away and she would never see me again. She promised that I wouldn't have to come back. She said, not this time. You won't have to come back, I promise. I said, okay, well, like I said, if you make me come back, then you're not going to see me again. She said, don't worry. Okay, so I lived with my grandmother till I turned 17, and then I went to live at a college dorm. I will talk more about this on the next video. Thanks.